Hi, I want to talk about scars today. So I have many, maybe you do too, and maybe that's why you're watching this. And there are external scars, and I have internal scars, whew, so many. And if I really let it, I could totally get discouraged and feel down about all of this stuff and feel depressed and defeated and, like really. But I flip it. And so I'm gonna share with you what I do. So first, let's just talk about a scar. Sometimes scars happen when you're doing something really fun and then all of a sudden something happens, right? It's usually a sudden thing that happens with a scar. Well, maybe sometimes the internal ones can be like a progression, I guess. But so for my external scars though, certainly they have been like instantaneous moments, right? A lot of them. And so almost 10 years ago when I came to Australia, I was in a motor vehicle accident, a head-on collision, that I dubbed the divine intervention. And I have a scar that runs across my face. Let's see if you can see it. It goes all the way across and up to there, right? And my nose is still a little bit crunchy right there. There's a little scar that goes down there as well because it shattered in the accident. And at the time, all of this was totally paralyzed. I couldn't move it. And the doctors were like, well, great, it's like free Botox. And I was like, I really am expressive, so I need full motion. And it was really a challenge for me. And in the beginning, this scar was thick and purple and just really rough, right? Like just right in your face too, right? So everywhere I go, that you couldn't not see it. It couldn't not be a topic. And so, I mean, I remember there was even a kid walking by on the street one time, and I was walking by, and the kid like held onto the mommy's hand, was like, "Mommy, what's wrong with her face?" And that's a lot to go through, especially as a woman. Anyway, I look at this scar now though, and I'm like, oh, I love this scar. I love this scar because it is a daily reminder of how lucky I am. And I now associate this scar with helping me to redirect my path. I see this scar now as something that reminds me about how resilient I am and how I always get back up, and that I guess it also like further cements me in the belief that everything happens for a reason. And now I look at it and I'm like, I love you, scar. Thank you. It's this, yeah, it's wow, it's really well. Especially now I actually have motion back, right? And it still feels funny, my whole forehead. But I love that because I needed to stay in Australia for an extra year for medical treatment and surgeries and stuff. And in that time I met my now husband, and we have, our own family, and, our whole life has happened since then. And so I'm really grateful for that. I have tons of other scars. I have a big scar that goes across almost hip to hip from my first son's birth. And, I think about that one now, and it was really, really traumatic at the time. Like, are we gonna live kind of traumatic? and now I'm like, oh, thank you, because we did live. Thank you for the experience of being human. Thank you that I'm a woman, that I even have the opportunity to learn to, I'm thankful that I get the opportunity to grow, and that this motherhood stage was one of the biggest initiation phases of my entire life. And I have this reminder, and it's almost like a little happy face, right down really low. I have tons of other scars. I have scars from one time when I was like 5, I was trying to like stop a rock fight. We live near the railroad tracks, and I was out there, and all the big kids were throwing rocks back and forth, and I got in the middle to try to stop it, and I have a scar that's on my lip right there. And that one reminds me of, okay, you can create peace. You're a peaceful being, Jennifer, clearly. But maybe stand back a little bit when people are throwing rocks. Maybe find another tactic. Maybe there's another way you can help bring peace. Let's see, I have dog bites. I have like I think it was on this side, one of these sides. Oh, there it is. I have a dog bite scar from when I was a little girl, and maybe that's kind of the maybe that's just really be aware of where you're heading if you can. and yeah, anyway, uh, all of these like external scars, they're seriously, and that's only a few. I have so many. And the cool thing is that these are all uniquely mine. Like no one else has this life, has this story, has been through these things. Like this is uniquely all me. And so I invite you, when you're looking at your scars, to think of it that way. Like this is all stuff that makes you uniquely who you are. And because of that, you have built unique characteristics around who you are, and probably values around that as well, based on those experiences. And how awesome is that? Like, truly. I feel like, you know, all of these have shown me how resilient I am. I feel like that's a big key one for me when I think about my scars, especially my external scars. The internal scars, which I want to go into now, because the internal scars are deep, and if you aren't carrying your scars on the outside like a badge of honor, they're on the inside. And you know, the tricky thing about scars and things happening inside is that people don't know, right? And I feel like this is even more of a reason of why we all need to be kind to each other, and we all need to have compassion for one another, because we truly have no idea what other people are going through. And I feel like you can kind of flip those internal scars as well, you know, the scars of, you know, betrayal or deceit or hurt or letdown or disappointment, or you know all of the scars that we accumulate in life, right? You know, where we have this expectation, you know, and it's not met, or people take advantage of us, you know, or you know, lots of things, so many life experiences that can cause scars, right? But they don't have to be bad. They can be something good, and they can bring further strength, and they can help you refortify in a new way, and further into who you are. And that's kind of the cool thing. There's this I think it's Japanese, it's like this thought of like wabi sabi, and it's basically like perfection in imperfection. And I absolutely love that. Like the whole idea that, you know, you take something that is broken, and it becomes its own thing and its own new thing. And I'm gonna take that a little further, because you know, when you are discovering something new, right? And you see something that is so perfect that you are just blown away, right? Because there are those moments. There's pieces of art, there's people, there's, you know, there's nature, there's love, there's, you know, these things that are just so perfect that you just, wow, right? And you admire them and you take them in, and then you find that like the other parts that are like more unique, like you know, they have like a twist, or they're, you know, there's something different about it. And that stuff I love, because to me that's like, it's almost like you get to explore in a whole new way, because it's not going to be what you expect it to be. And I love that. I feel like that's like one of the coolest things. And yeah, I invite you to also think about life that way, and to think about scars that way, and see how you might be able to transform it. Yeah, no one else has lived the life you've lived at all, right? And own it. Like, why not? Own it. Like, it's cool. Anyway, we get this like one experience as far as we know. And we're humans, and awesome. So let's be as much in love with our lives as we can. All right. All love. See ya.